They asked Elon Musk a simple question. Do you believe in God? What he said next wasn't what anyone expected. It was not yes. It was not no. It was something in between, something that sounds like faith and science fiction. Stay until the end. This might change how you see everything. But before we dive into the deeper layers of Musk's philosophy, make sure you hit that subscribe button. These are the kinds of stories you won't hear in the headlines. Elon Musk was born in 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa. Raised in a mixed cultural household with a Canadian mother and South African father, Musk's early years were deeply influenced by traditional values, and yes, even religion. In interviews, Musk has confirmed that he was baptized as a child and attended Anglican Sunday school. He recalled hearing biblical stories and teachings that left a lasting impression, even if he didn't fully understand them at the time. He said, "I was sent to Anglican Sunday school. I remember some of the teachings quite well. The stories were interesting. Some of them were beautiful, even." But young Elon wasn't your average child. While others listened quietly to the stories of Noah's Ark and the resurrection, Musk started asking questions, big ones. Why would a loving God allow suffering? Why did evil people sometimes succeed while good people failed? And if God existed, where exactly was he? Those questions didn't go away. In fact, they grew louder. As Musk entered his teenage years, his attention shifted towards science and philosophy. He devoured books, not just sci-fi novels, but dense academic texts on physics, computer science, and the nature of reality. He wasn't rejecting religion out of rebellion. He was searching for answers in a different language, the language of logic. By his 20s, many assumed Elon Musk had abandoned religion entirely. And in some ways, that was true. He no longer went to church, he didn't pray before bed, and he certainly didn't subscribe to any organized religious institution. In an early interview, Musk described himself as not religious. In another, he said, "I'd probably call myself a secular humanist." It seemed he was firmly in the camp of science over faith. But over the years, his views began to shift, not toward blind belief, but toward a more nuanced curiosity about the big questions. Why are we here? What is consciousness? Is there purpose behind the universe? In recent years, Musk has made statements that suggest a deep and growing interest in spiritual themes. In 2024, in a widely viewed conversation with clinical psychologist Jordan Peterson, Elon Musk made a surprising admission. He said, quote, "While I'm not a particularly religious person, I do believe the teachings of Jesus are good and wise." He then went further, adding, "I would call myself a cultural Christian." For someone previously associated with atheism and secular thinking, this was a major shift. But what does cultural Christian really mean to Elon Musk? It's not about going to church every Sunday or believing in literal interpretations of Scripture. It's about aligning with the ethical and philosophical framework that Christianity offers. Musk highlighted teachings like loving your neighbor, showing mercy, and turning the other cheek. These, he said, are not just good principles. They're necessary for a functioning and compassionate society. Musk said, "The turn the other cheek philosophy is a very powerful concept. It's not intuitive. It's actually quite difficult but wise." For Musk, these teachings are not outdated relics. They're timeless insights into human nature and morality. But don't mistake his respect for Christian values as a full embrace of religious doctrine. In several interviews, including a revealing conversation with German publisher Matthias Döpfner, Musk spoke about his belief, or lack thereof, in a divine being. He said, "I believe in the possibility of a higher power. I think it's hard to believe all of this universe, came from nothing." It's a view often labeled as deism, the idea that a creator may exist, but doesn't intervene in human affairs. Musk went on to say, "If there's a God who is observing and judging everything morally, then why do so many evil things go unpunished?" This statement is at the heart of what philosophers call the problem of evil. If God is all-powerful and all-good, why is there suffering? For Musk, this is a key reason why he struggles with the idea of a personal, interventionist God. And yet, he doesn't rule God out. In fact, Musk has spoken openly about the idea that we might all be living in a simulation, a theory with surprising spiritual implications. He once said, "There's a 1 in billions chance that we're in base reality. It's far more likely we're living in a simulation created by a higher intelligence." Now, whether the higher intelligence is what ancient people called God or something else entirely, Musk leaves open-ended. But make no mistake, the concept of a creator is not off the table for him. Interestingly, while Musk doesn't adhere to religious rituals, he has become more vocal about the value of religion in society. Specifically, he's deeply concerned about the cultural consequences of abandoning faith entirely. In several public talks and tweets, Musk has warned about the dangers of collapsing birth rates in secular societies. He argues that when a culture loses its religion, it often loses its motivation to reproduce and maintain tradition. He once said, "When a civilization stops believing in something bigger than itself, it starts to decline. It stops having children. It stops building." To Elon Musk, religion, especially Christianity, isn't just a belief system. It's a moral compass, a cultural stabilizer, and in some ways, a survival mechanism. That's why, despite not being devout, he supports the preservation of religious values. He sees them as essential to the future of humanity, especially as we enter an era dominated by artificial intelligence, biotechnology, and space colonization. In a world driven by machines, he believes we will need wisdom more than ever, and much of that wisdom, he says, can be found in the moral teachings of Christ. So, what does Elon Musk actually believe? He doesn't believe in a God who watches every move we make. He questions the idea of divine punishment or reward. And he certainly doesn't follow any organized religion blindly. But he does believe in something more. He believes in the possibility of a higher power. He believes in the wisdom of forgiveness, mercy, and humility. He believes that spiritual values, while not always provable, might be the very things that keep civilization alive. And perhaps most surprisingly of all, he believes that the teachings of Jesus Christ could be the key to our future happiness, even if he's still figuring out exactly what that means. Maybe Elon Musk doesn't have all the answers, but maybe that's the point. In a universe filled with black holes, dark matter, and quantum paradoxes, maybe the smartest thing anyone can do is to stay curious. Let us know in the comments. What do you think about Elon Musk's beliefs? Is he a believer in disguise, a cosmic skeptic, or just a man asking the same questions we all do? Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss the real stories behind the minds that are shaping the world. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.